Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to another Injustice Versus! And today we are doing a fan-requested episode, John Stewart, the Green Lantern, versus Shiera Hall.
I think I was the fan that requested this.
Yep. Shiera.
Was I the fan?
I don't know about you, Wingdings, but I really like that John Stewart's in this game.
He's awesome.
And the fact that he's voiced by Phil Lamar makes it even more awesome.
Time to bring the hammer down.
She's not voiced by the Justice League
Yeah.
person. Eat cabinet!
She's not voiced by her awesome Justice League voice. Oh my gosh, I forgot what her name was. Again.
I can never say her name, but she was in Wizards of Waverly Place. I know that much.
Whoa.
Yes.
Alright then.
John is bringing the hammer down, and I don't even have a hammer. Ow. Hammer to the face.
Oh man, I love that move on Green Lantern.
I like it. Oh, that's right, you can fly. Oh, I can't reach you. Maybe my missiles can. No, missiles missed. Missile power!
Oh!
Love
Like,
the squirrel.
I'm waiting to hit you, and you, like, hit me before I have a chance.
Yes.
So unfair!
I just hit you with a mace to the face. I have a mace too, except mine's
But
green.
yes, this is our lover's quarrel, just like we did,
Oh!
Batgirl and Nightwing were doing, John Stewart and Shiera, but I was sad because I really wanted to look up some of the comics before I did this, and I looked up Hawkgirl and
A lot of stuff on
John
Hawkgirl.
Stewart in the comics, and it's just like, they don't ever romance in the comics at all, and it's so sad.
Why?
So come on, DC, you have to bring it in there.
That would be awesome. They had so much character development, both of them, in Bruce Timm's series, written by Dwayne McDuffie and Paul Dini, but yet
Yeah.
the comic books, John Stewart has always been either a secondary or background character.
Yeah, I was looking on.
Or replacement character.
Exactly.
But yeah, the reason why he was a replacement character is DC was in a rush back in the 70s, I believe it was, to have a African-American character that kids could relate to. Unfortunately, the character that they came up with originally was kind of anti-government, anti-society, angry, and kind of thug-like. And he also spoke in jive, which is not the John Stewart that we all got to know and love in the animated series. He's completely different. He was this chiseled Marine, you know? But in his creation, he was not a likable character. I liked him about as much in the Bronze and Silver Age as I liked Guy Gardner, which wasn't a lot, because Guy Gardner is an idiot.
Didn't he originally replace Guy Gardner, or like as a temporary replacement for him? Or
I always thought he replaced Hal Jordan, but he
one of
probably
them.
did Gardner, because
Something
Gardner was
like that.
a character that had just about as much development as John did. And what's funny, in the Brave and the Bold animated series, they had a guy act just like John Stewart did in the 70s. So he was like this pompous jerk. Oh crap. You learned how to do your special. Oh! Mace to the face!
To the face.
Is not a disgrace.
But yeah,
Leaving
pretty
a
much
crater on
John
the ground.
Stewart has not had a lot of, like, he doesn't, I was just reading that, you know, he was created in the 70s, and then, like, he hardly got in any comics at all until, like, the 80s, and it was just like, he's hardly ever there at all.
Yeah. He got to replace Green Lantern for a little bit, and what I hated is you had this very developed character, and for some reason they made Hal Jordan go crazy, like total insane. And it was after his city got wiped out by Mongol or whatever, and he tried to use the Green Lantern Corps and asked permission more than once to have his city restored, and the Guardians were like, no. And he lost his fiance and everybody ever knew, his entire city, and he went crazy. But it was after the Guardians kept telling him, no, 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 no. But after he was dead, instead of getting John Stewart, who was an accomplished Green Lantern at that point, he was someone who was respected by the Guardians, and he did all this stuff, you know, even as a secondary character.
Right.
he was, quote, retired when Rayner was first introduced, but instead of having John be the guy who comes in and be Green Lantern, they get this white kind of mixed character to replace Hal Jordan, and they make him like emo. Yet they shoulder John Stewart again.
Yeah.
And I'm not dissing on Kyle Rayner fans. I'm saying, you know, he was kind of he was the 90s Green Lantern, basically. You know, the time of Millions of Peaches and whatever the 90s, 90s were, TLC, stuff like that. That was the generation that he was from. But John Stewart, you know, played kind of this older mentor character, and he should have been a Green Lantern.
Yeah, John Stewart never got his time in the sun. I
No.
mean, he
He kind of has now, but
technically,
even not really.
Yeah, but he did become very popular in the Justice League.
Yeah, that was much later though, because it was supposed to be originally it was supposed to be either Kyle Rayner or Hal Jordan that was supposed to be the Green Lantern for the Justice League, and Robin was going to be an Impulse, and a cyborg girl was going to be in it, even though there was no cyborg girl. Oh. Okay, that's good.
Makes to the face.
Oh yeah, eat whatever this is.
Oh yeah,
I missed.
didn't eat it. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right, because
I
we
took-
worked together in the Justice League, and I know your every move.
Right, well, here's the problem I have. They had Rayner, who had no experience at all. He just had a will equal to or greater than Hal Jordan, and that's who because Hal was wiping out the Green Lantern, and Kyle was the one to defeat him. And then they put him in the Justice League, and the guy had about as much experience as a sidekick, and he was the Green Lantern in the Justice League? It makes no
Yeah.
sense.
It's weird. But,
No banter about their relationship.
what?
There was no banter about their relationship.
What do you mean?
In this, I
Oh.
just, it's non-existent. That would have been a nice little fan thing, like, you know.
Oh yeah, I know. In their special moves. Yeah, exactly.
Like, all he would have to say is, like, I'm ready to clean house, and then she could say, like, well, you already fold your underwear. I mean, that would be a reference to one of the episodes from Justice League.
Oh.
Because who folds their underwear? I mean, that's funny.
Yeah, well, some people do, but it's just not worth it.
Yes. Earth 2,
No.
Time to bring the hammer down.
hammer time.
Oh, I don't like that costume.
Fully charged.
Well, I'm sorry, all our costumes can't be
That's
as
her
cool
in
as
Earth
yours.
2?
Yeah, she isn't around in the New 52. She's Earth 2. Which is technically New 52, but she's not of that universe. She's of a different universe.
Yeah.
She's the same universe that Supergirl, or excuse me, Power Girl, and Huntress are from, Bruce Wayne's daughter. Ow.
Yeah, and if no one can guess, I'm now playing as Green Lantern, which is why, Shiera is playing. But,
Go Shiera! Team
But
Shiera
it's
for the
interesting,
win.
like, I've had, for Shiera, it's weird, she's been my favorite in Justice League, and then I found out, I don't know how I forgot that, like, she had that other boyfriend, Hawkman or whatever.
Hawkman was her main squeeze, like, forever.
But I didn't know that.
Her first appearance was in a Flash comic in the 40s.
I know. But
And she appeared as,
okay.
like, the little wifey of Hawkman.
I know. But in the new realities, like in this, I was just reading in the Silver Age, Hawkman and her, or that one guy and her who was kind of like Hawkman, were just police officers together, and they weren't dating.
They always get that wrong. It was actually the Bronze Age. People assume that the 70s was also the Silver Age. 70s was the Bronze Age. She was a police officer in the 70s.
Okay. And then around the same, or as you were saying, after that, then Justice League came out with, or something.
Many decades later,
Okay.
Justice League came out.
All
And
right,
Bruce
then.
Timm, the only reason Hawkgirl was the way she was is because Bruce Timm grew up reading the Bronze Age Justice League and
Alrighty.
things like that. So when it was time for him to go and write stories and stuff like that, he fell back on the stuff that he remembered. That's why Hawkgirl is this really cool character
Yeah.
in that series and not how
Well,
she was in the comics at that time.
She's awesome. I mean, it's like a story of redemption with Hawkgirl, It's awesome. Whoa.
Yeah, you haven't seen her windscreen very often, have you?
No.
Yeah, Bruce Timm brought in characters which, you know, I was very surprised at first when he brought in when he brought in John, because I didn't remember John, and then he said, well, how we made John relatable is we combined his and Hal Jordan's
Right.
backstory. I mean, we made John
Made him a very
a
likable
military
character.
guy and
Yeah.
very disciplined, and we got rid of the kind of anti-establishment Green Lantern that nobody liked.
Yeah, mellowed him out a little bit.
Yeah. Which they
And-
need to do the same thing in the comics today, because he's
Yeah, and they have used some things.
they've used
from
some of his things.
the comics, but I have to say, I have seen all over the internet just searching about Shiera and John. Like, people are asking DC to put Shiera and John in the comics together.
Well,
in
they
some
had great
way.
they had great chemistry.
And right now with the Earth, I guess Shiera is on Earth 2 and John is on the other reality. or
John's in the New
something.
52. Yeah.
But some way you have to get them together. Like, it just has to happen, because I have to say that Shiera and Hawkman, okay, Hawkman is like a male chauvinist and she can't really be herself with him. But with John, she can be herself. And I really believe, like, in the Justice League, the way she kind of, like, her conscience was kind of, you know, something was tugging at her conscience, and she ended up doing the right thing when she could have just, you know, ended up being a crazy, you know, alien taking over the human race just like everyone else. Something made her change, and I think a big part of that is, like, Jon Stewart. And, you know, 'cause he loved her, and love can do anything. So, it's awesome.
I can do a German suplex.
And her friendship with Wonder Woman, that helped a lot too. But yeah, I think she's very cool. But I think I already said that in another episode.
Yeah, you have a lot of fangirl.
I am a super. I have become a super fan. I have made like a 180 with. Yeah.
Not a 360, a 180. Yeah,
Yeah.
podcast joke.
I've made.
You'll get it when the podcast releases.
Okay.
No, they'll get it. You already know it. You already know the 180, 360
I think I
bit.
do.
Yeah. Well, you heard us doing it over and over again. Because
Yeah.
everybody was getting the Xbox One thing wrong and kept
Oh.
saying Xbox does a 360. It's like, no.
That would go all the way around and go to the same place you were
They did
before.
a 180.
180
Yeah.
goes to the opposite way. Well,
Exactly.
I've done kind of like, well, maybe I have done a 360 then, because I started out being a super fan, and then I went around and I was like, oh no, she was cheating on John with Hawk, dude. And then, and then I realized, oh wait, she was already with him before, and then she met John later. But I think that her relationship with Hawk, whatever his name is, man,
Hawkman.
or
Whatever his name is, Hawkman.
you know, he just like pushes her around, and that's like something she just was like brought up to think she had to do, and like, you know, like with John, it's like real love, and yeah. So I think it's awesome, and like, yeah, Hawkman was telling her to like kill a whole bunch of people for no reason. So
That wasn't Hawkman.
that can't be a good
That was the
situation.
guy they made up for the movie. That
Okay, well that's the one I.
wasn't Hawkman.
Well.
Are you gonna come face your doom or what?
What? I'm the Green Lantern. You are just like, you're a girl. I can take
say
you
that,
on.
Say that to my face.
You know what? You're like a noob in this Justice League. I've been in this Justice League way longer. I have tons of training.
Who just got knocked into space,
I'm
hit a satellite,
I'm a
and
Marine,
smashed into a
and
javelin?
Then after I became powerful as a Marine, and then I went through all the training, and I'm all
Retired.
these muscles.
You retired.
And then
You
they
retired, and they made whiny boy Kyle
No,
the
no,
Green
look
Lantern.
it. I have a ring. I'm the Green Lantern.
Read the 90s comics.
You know what?
In fact, in the New 52, they were about to execute you, but due to fan protest, you're still around, and now they're probably going to kill my favorite character.
I did read about the executing thing they were going to, and then Guy Gardner saved him in the nick of time or something.
Yeah. DC was planning on killing Jon Stewart, and people are like, no. And those are all the people that grew up with the Justice League series.
Yay.
They were like, no way, that's not happening. So now Dan Dido's like, oh, that's okay, we'll just kill Nightwing. See, this is what DC always does. When they aren't able to get their way and kill off the character they want, they just fall back and are like, nobody relates to Dick Grayson, let's just wipe him off the face of the earth.
Ah,
Time to bring the hammer down.
No.
That's what they do.
Maybe nobody relates to Dick Grayson because there aren't enough nice guys in the world anymore.
I think that might be the reason why.
Because nobody's nice anymore.
But
Unless you live in an Animal Crossing town.
I was gonna say, instead of, falling back and making Kyle like this, even in the new 52, they're guilty of it. Somehow Hal Jordan had a hissy fit. He didn't become Phalanx or anything, but he's no longer a Green Lantern, or he's like a Sinestro Lantern or something now. Like his power ring isn't from the Guardians. They should have had John step in and be on the Justice League, but they don't really tell you who they had on the Justice League for the Green Lanterns. It's like they're still ignoring John, and John is a very accomplished superhero.
I know.
It just really ticks me off. It's like, stop making up all these new... They made up like a Muslim Green Lantern, while they still had... I always get Hal and John confused now because they're like a conglomerate. Yeah, he keeps getting passed by.
Alright, fine. It's like, okay, fine. There's all these new people. Fine, have that. Okay, fine. But still, John is still more experienced than all of them.
Exactly. And Dwayne McDuffie wrote John so well that new character that they introduced, the guy with the gun, Green Lantern or whatever, he has so little character development that John Stewart, like especially the Justice League John Stewart, would run circles around the guy.
Wait.
But they just introduced him because, you know, that's what's popular in comics.
Okay, I have a new question. Did
Sure.
Dwayne McDuffie ever help on like comic books, or he just did like the animated stuff?
Dwayne McDuffie was the guy who created Static Shock and all these different like
So he actually
African
did
American
write some-
superheroes.
Yeah.
Well, no, his company, I forgot the name of it, but the company he worked for, they weren't part of DC Comics yet. By the time Justice League and Static Shock came out, like the TV shows, that comic book company had been made like part of DC. Like they no longer even had their real name. And by the time the new 52 comes around, and like those characters are all part of the official DC universe now. Like they have so many characters in the new 52 from so many different sub-comic genres that, you know, the new 52 has some good qualities because it brought all these characters.
So he didn't influence so he didn't write the comics. So
No, he was
so simple.
he was with Bruce Timm's animation team, and he was actually going to go into DC Comics and do some writing, but he passed away. You're a zombie.
Yes, I feel like a zombie.
Zombie.
That long answer, no.
Eat that.
But no, we are very big Dwayne McDuffie fans. So I feel sad if he had written the comics. There would have been some awesomeness going on with John Stewart in comics.
I really
And tons of Static Shock needs to be in there more as well.
Yeah, Static Shock definitely. Static Shock needs to be in this game actually. Cyborg and John Stewart are it in this game. They need to put a shock to your system. Just saying. Virgil would be pretty cool in this game, but not like teenage Virgil.
I don't like, and just so you guys know, I put this costume on because gaming said it was cool, but I was just like, ugh, I don't like this costume.
That's her 90s costume.
But yeah, I have been watching a whole bunch of, those videos where people put like a love song to like,
AMVs?
I don't know.
No, they're called AMVs.
Okay, and to a Jon Stewart and Shiera, and it's like, I'm just been like, oh, like watching them, like getting teary-eyed and stuff before we did this. So nice. I don't understand why some people say that Batman is like a big brother to Shiera.
He's not.
Giving her relationship advice and
he's
stuff.
like a
It's just
general.
like, what?
I think they're confusing it with the Justice League Unlimited, which had everybody's character rewritten. It's kind of like Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, except they kept the same animation and most of the principal team to do the writing. But Batman's character did change a lot. Like, he became a softie. In the original Justice League series, like the first season, I guess you call it. I call it the first series. He's a grumpy, cool, calculating, tactical genius. And then in the other series, he's like a big, emotional softie that, like, he's always letting his guard down. But he's also getting older in that. He's supposed to be in his early to mid 40s and stuff in Justice League Unlimited.
He makes stops for the hug train.
Yeah. But what I'm surprised about Justice League Unlimited, though, is they kept...
Time to bring the hammer.
The only Green Lantern they had in it, really, was John Stewart. Like, they didn't bring a Lantern in to replace him. They did show that other Lanterns were in it, like Kyle Rayner and Guy Guardian and things like that. But they didn't have a prominent role in the series. They played John's sidekicks, which makes sense because John was so...
Yes.
He was the Hal Jordan of that universe.
Yeah, they really need to change his... I mean, they did change a little bit. Like, they changed... In the comics, from the Justice League, they made him into a Marine in the comics. So they need to change more aspects of him. And, you know, I really think they need to mellow him out in the comics. And, you know, that's...
I agree. And I think they need to give him Shiera, because he was with Vixen for a time, and she just doesn't... I don't know. Vixen's just a weird character.
I mean,
don't like
so
her.
many people connect to the Shiera and John Stewart, and like, just, you know, like, it's almost like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. They're from two different worlds, and they're like so different, but they just fall in love, and it's just like so romantic. So
I agree.
Everyone loves it.
Of course, Romeo and Juliet, you gotta remember, is a bad analogy because it always ends in tragedy.
I know, but this is like a good Romeo and Juliet.
But didn't their relationship end in tragedy? Because, like, as the series progressed, he ended up with Vixen, and then when he saw his future self, and the fact that he settled down and had a child with Shiera, and he became Hawkman, or Hawk guy, or I don't even remember his name, but he was like this Batman Beyond-ish Hawk guy in the future. John started to question his, what's the word I'm looking for? His own future and what girl he really liked because of what happens in the future. And they actually wrote that in the Justice League. Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Future stuff always happens. I mean, like, weird stuff. I need to change my costume. Okay, well, yeah, the future thing, I still think that has no bearing on their actual relationship, because that's just a kind of, like, Back to the Future paradox thing. Like, oh, what if you meet your future self and you know too much about them? I think that has nothing to do with their relationship. Their relationship is awesome.
You say that as you German suplex him.
Except right now, she's really mad at him because he did not, like, take the trash out, so that's why this is happening.
Yeah, guys, it's always good to take the trash out.
Well, you know what? It's okay that he didn't take the trash out. That's one thing. But the fact that she asked him to, and then he said he would, and then he didn't. Okay, that's why she's mad.
That's grounds for.
And the fact that she asked him a few times. There we go. Yeah. No, I don't. It's fine. But I'd be cool with that. But Shiera, no, she's really not okay.
Oh, I see how it is. Well, Shiera, I think you need to go in the Phantom Zone.
So, it's weird, like, Shiera is like, I'm trying to read about her in the comics, and she's like, alright, she's like, been all these different people, like, she's Shiera, and then she's Kendra, or somebody else.
Yeah,
There's a couple different names.
Reincarnation
and
stuff.
now she's like Shiera again, or something.
You have your special, by the way. You need to pay attention to your meter.
Thank you. But she's Shiera again, correct? In the comics?
In the New 52, I think so.
She is. So she can totally be with Green Lantern again.
Except Green Lantern is on the New 52, and she's in Earth 2, and
Well,
Earth 2 still hasn't made it to the New 52.
I just don't understand why there has to be two realities here.
Because DC's always done Infinite
I
Earths.
don't understand this.
I
It
never
makes
understand
it
it
so
either.
complicated.
It's very
I
complicated.
can't keep track of two different storylines. It's hard enough to keep track of one.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have a point.
Yeah, I have a point at the end of my mace. So I don't know.
You know, if you actually pay attention to your superpower, you might actually have a chance of beating me. I was just thinking that, because I thought you do a lot of meteor attacks, and you don't, so. Just something to consider. I'm sure the fans are like, what happened to the Batman versus Superman match in the previous one?
I
Hawkgirl,
learned some cool moves, and I don't know. It's just like you're so fast. I'm just like, I was kind of doing some of them.
I'm not even trying.
Well, okay. So, was there anything I missed that's important about John Stewart and
No,
Hawkgirl?
we've actually given him. We've talked about as much as Jon Stewart as you're going to find on the internet. And I think we did him more justice than a place like Wikipedia or those fan sites, because there's really not much to talk about the character.
Supposedly he was the main guy in one of the comics.
In the 80s he was for a little bit. And then they brought in Hal Jordan, and then they replaced him with, you know, Kyle Rayner. And Kyle Rayner's a whiny boy. And I never liked Mr. Emo. So.
Yeah, I actually never heard of that guy, so obviously.
No, he...
Only person I know is Hal and Jon Stewart, that's it.
Who wants to go into Phantom Zone? Ow.
Oh! Maybe you do. It's time. Nope.
Is it?
No, no, no.
Time flies when you're in the Phantom Zone.
Oh, I guess he did take out the trash after all.
Oh! I love that they got Phil Lamar to do this. Yeah, they did.
Oh, you know what? Somebody was telling me, or not somebody was telling me, I was reading online somewhere. They said there needs to be a movie with, you know, Jon Stewart, and then if there was, that Denzel Washington should play Jon Stewart.
I agree. I think Denzel Washington would make a great
That
Jon
would be
Stewart.
the most amazing thing in the world.
Yes,
And
reboot Green Lantern right now
You know
and
who
make
could
Jon
play-
Stewart done by Daniel Washington.
You know
and
who-
then how they could do it is they could say that, you know, Hal Jordan was around, but he's off somewhere else in the universe, or he got, because the Green Lanterns get moved to different things all the time. Or you can do a thing like have an opening from the animated series that everybody loved, where Hal Jordan is still stuck in space and they need a replacement to save Earth, and they find Denzel Washington.
I have
So
to say, well,
it's you're not replacing the character. It's just
here's one option for Hawkgirl. The girl who voiced her in the Justice League could do a good job, but I mean, she's very pretty in real life.
she's very pretty, but she's kind of old.
Yeah, she is older. You're right. So it would be somebody else.
Knowing DC, they would probably get like a Megan Fox type person.
Ugh,
like
no.
Who's that one person you don't like? Who's
Okay,
one
my
of the
requirement-
Kardashians?
no. No, that would be horrible. My requirement would be that she has to be a good actor, so... Yeah, that would ban pretty much everyone they're thinking.
Well, if they did a Justice League movie so many years ago, they could have got that one girl who was in... Not Catherine Zeta-Jones, the one from Fools Rush In.
Ooh, Selma Hayek.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she's a fox. And I'm just saying that from an objective point of view.
She was a fox. That was so many years ago.
What? She's like one of the most beautiful women like ever in the
She's
history
aged
of...
very well.
Yeah.
Like a fine wine.
Time to bring the hammer down.
No, you
She
haven't
still
brought...
looks the same as she did
you
back...
haven't brought the hammer down at all.
She's still...
Look,
when
I
was
can-
Fools
I can
Rush
even
In?
tell.
That was like... What year was that?
2000 or 1999?
Oh.
That was
Well,
a
you know
long
why?
time ago.
You know why she's aged so well? Her husband is like wicked rich.
Who's her husband?
I don't know. He's this really rich guy. That's all I know.
He's not a part of a cartel or anything, is he?
I don't know. Her husband has a lot of money. That's all I know. So she can pretty much...
Mace to the face.
Sure, she can get whatever she needs to keep herself beautiful.
I kicked and I made that whole thing fall down.
Last thing I saw her in this milk commercial with her daughter. It was so
Oh,
cute.
cute.
Yeah.
Eat
she's
it.
so adorable. Ah! No, but... Well... I mean, Hawkgirl's hair is kind of red, so she has to dye her hair red. Maybe not. It
No,
could be- it
she's
could be
she's had brown hair. Like, because remember in the animated series, even though it looked kind of red, there was a
Yeah.
lot of shading,
Okay.
so it was kind of like a brownish red.
True. So anyway, well, Denzel Washington is definitely gonna be. Green
No,
Lantern.
I'm saying because
I know.
people don't like it when you replace characters without any explanation. I'm saying take the series, like the Green Lantern one, the animated series was revered by people. They really liked it.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I mean, it had bland animation, but the
No.
storytelling was getting better. So, like, continue that series with Hal Jordan stuck in another dimension or whatever.
Okay, alright.
And give the ring to one of his friends from the army base, who happens to be, Jon Stewart. And there's
Alright.
your movie. That way you can reference back to Hal Jordan being given a ring, and in a couple movies, you could do a buddy cop episode with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
That would be amazing.
See, there you go, DC. Simple as that. Simple as
Yes.
that. But will they do it? No.
That would, yeah, that'd be.
They're gonna reboot Hal Jordan again, and it's gonna be a white dude.
Yeah, they're just failing so much.
That
And Shiera is mad because she needs her romance. She needs her cuddle time.
I'm telling you, if you go up to them and you say they're like Romeo and Juliet, then you're dooming their relationship.
No, I was trying to think of something very romantic.
Yeah, a tragic relationship is very romantic.
Okay, well,
Fully charged.
fine.
That's
what's
why
what's a good example of a romantic?
I hate when I have people contact me sometime and they're like, I'm looking for my Juliet. It's like, Amber's not my Juliet. We didn't have a train wreck romance. We're still together. Don't call us Romeo and Juliet. That's such a bad omen. It's like, oh. It's like, why can't people see that their story doesn't end
Wow.
well?
Apparently I've struck a nerve on you that I did not know about. Okay, so anyway, we were actually talking about Hawkgirl and Jon Stewart.
I'm just
So
saying.
you remember. Yeah, I don't know. This might be. Yeah. We're probably gonna have to end this soon.
Why, you're tired of losing?
No, I don't want to. I'm starting to get better, and you might not want to see me win.
See,
I don't know.
I just brushed myself off. I think you made a dent.
No.
Who just got smacked into the Phantom Zone? Oh, I know. It wasn't me. It was you. You want me to do my little victory dance? Oh, hey. Oh, ow. Aw. I'm still gonna do my dance.
What?
Doing
Why
my
did
dance,
I not? I was
doing
going
my
forward.
dance, doing my dance. Oh. That's it. Don't think about what I'm doing.
Ah.
Fooled you.
You know what? Jon
Why-
Stewart
why are you-
has
why
to
are
be
you-
a
why are you
little
falling-
nicer.
Why are you falling for?
If he wants a chance with Shiera at all, he has to show he's a little nicer than Hawkman.
Well, Hawkman,
on.
they made a real jerk in the Justice League.
He's always a jerk.
No, he isn't.
Yes, he is.
There are a lot of Hawkman fans. Well, there was a long time ago.
His whole society is like, he's like a Spartan.
You fell for it again.
His whole society is about war. How can you not be?
Oh, the Thanagarians? Yeah.
That's the whole thing. She leaves the whole idea. It's not just him. She realizes her whole idea of how she lives her life is wrong. That's the whole
Once a
point.
Green Lantern, always a Green Lantern.
Final round. Loser has to bake cookies.
Wow, I hope I'm the loser, because, yeah. I don't want to be the loser, but
Yeah, I'm crazy.
I don't know.
Cookies.
I've never had cookies baked by you before. I don't know how that would be.
You're terrified, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you must win to, you know.
I don't really want the smoke detector to go off.
Hey,
at,
look,
like, 1 in the
I'm
morning.
Amber.
Stop! I wasn't even using my fly thing very much.
Look at me in the air. Oh, yeah, you can shoot me all you want. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, you're not. But ow, in all seriousness, the characters are really cool, and DC needs to actually do something with them in the new 52. Maybe have like a parallel romance where they end up like Jon Stewart's a member of the Justice League, finally, hopefully. But actually, no, Hal Jordan's still a member of the Justice League. But somehow Jon Stewart ends up being a member of the Justice League, and they're in like this during the Trinity War. They both get sucked in from their parallel universes and end up like in this kind of like alien city or something.
Ooh, they could be like Rose and Doctor Who.
There you go.
Because she's on another Earth and he can't get to her.
Well,
So do something like that.
they have,
Alright, I don't want to get too distracted. We have to conclude though.
but Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor was already with Rose.
No.
I can get my cookies
Right.
made.
So pretty much, Jon Stewart looks awesome in this DLC, and you guys should all download him. It's really cool.
Well, he comes with the Martian Manhunter, so they have to pay $5 for Martian Manhunter to play as Jon
Well,
Stewart.
they're both really awesome,
It's worth the $5 though.
and they were in a comic together, so.
Yeah, they were a long time ago. But I mean, if you're a fan of the Justice League, like the series that we were like in college for, then you guys definitely need to get the Martian Manhunter so you can play as Jon Stewart, because it is Phil frickin' Lamar who's doing the voice, and he just makes the character so much cooler than Hal Jordan. Sorry, John. But that's gonna do it, folks. In the comment section below, tell us who you want us to see play as next. Although next week, little spoiler for you, we're gonna be playing as Zatanna. But still, we want to hear from you guys and gals and know what you want us to play as next. And that will do it for another Injustice Versus. Don't forget to mash the like button because it's awfully lonely. We really appreciate you guys supporting this series for over 4 months now. It's a lot of fun, and we really enjoy it, and we hope you guys like it too. God bless, happy gaming. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you later, Wingdings. We out.
See ya.
Time for anime.